coffee, then I go.
All right, so we are live here, second cup of coffee. We got rambunctious kiddos who are in the other room doing some learning. And here we are, all set up to get this moving. So,
Yay!
all right, let's get moving. All right, so we're here. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. Happy
Beautiful.
Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jason.
I'm Keely.
This is Second Cup of Coffee Live. Here we are. And today's an exciting episode. We're really excited to just get with us. And we feel like this is just an action-packed episode. So make sure, watch us throughout. Always, we're working on things, moving things forward. Peely's always working on things there. So Peely just got off a great interview. And let's start this today. I think I'm going to put you on the spot because I don't know if you remember, but your mom wrote this great thing.
Oh, where's my computer?
Oh, it's downstairs.
That's downstairs. You know what? We're going to share that with you tomorrow because it is my mom decided to, and it's called Haku, basically create an affirmation. It could be a chant, it could turn into a song, but my mom created this amazing thing for us to share with you, and it's downstairs. And I don't have it committed to memory yet, so I'm going to get it wrong if I say it right now. Okay, well, and let's even take that first. So you, of course, know Peely is Hawaiian. If you don't, well, surprise. But in that fact, here she is, and she's Hawaiian. So our kids each have two middle names, and they have a middle name that is one English and also one that is Hawaiian, given by your mom. So, well, it was a collaboration between me, my mom, and my sister and brother, and my dad. And we're basing it all on my mom's just extensive knowledge of the Hawaiian language. And it has been, oh, look, hi, Dana. You guys are so awesome. And of course, love the energy. My phone is just popping out. It's like you move closer and there's some radio beams that are happening here at this point. Dana, so if anything, thank you so much for joining us. You are amazing. Dana is our neighbor. She gets to see us do all of our workouts. But back to my mom and the Hawaiian culture. Yeah. So their names are very, very special. And so language is not my strong point. I can actually read it and write Italian. I can get by with, but I can't speak just that part. I'm enough to be dangerous, but probably saying everything that's wrong, right? So that said, each of the kids having a name, and the name gives meaning, right? And sometimes we forget that, our name does serve a purpose, right? So what Peely is and Peely Aloha is and what Jason is, there's always meanings behind there. And when we can take that and just look at how we grow, because we're given a name at just such the earliest thing, right? Who knows what that can transcend to us? But we have to think about ourselves. Like, what is our name supposed to mean? What does that mean? So Jason means healer, but how do you look in that fact? Like, what is that healing that's part of my life? And Luke is Kalani Pono Mana Viola. Yes, Luke Kalani Pono Mana Viola. Wayne University. That is not without practice, repetition, more practice than most. But let's talk to it. What does that mean? So Luke means light. It means, it just basically means like the light. I was going to Kalani Pono Mana Viola. I know, but lots of people didn't know what Luke meant. So Kalani Pono Mana Viola, that just basically means the righteous one in the waters of life. So I always, and this is a joke within the Hawaiian community, like we give our children these long sentence names of amazingness. And I always tell myself, I'm not going to give my children a Hawaiian sentence name, but there's so much meaning. There's so much I wanted to put in his name that my mom, my sister, my brother, and my dad just kind of formed this name. So Kalani is the Hawaiian name given to the kind of the men in my father's side of the family. His name is Kalani. His dad's name is Kalani. So of course I would give my son the name Kalani. Pono is a name that I've loved. It means righteousness. And strength. And strength. But mostly like just righteousness within strength. So Kalani Pono was like the first part of the name. Kalani Pono Manavai, in the waters. So Navai was a dream name that my aunt and I
came up separately together. We both had sort of the same dream, and the same name came about. So Kalani Pono Manavai Ola. Ola is actually a part of my middle name, which is Ku'ude Ola. And Ola means life. So the righteous one in the waters of life.
And just the impact of that, and we can think about a lot of things, right? And so where that carries through is that we want to give meaning to so much we're doing. And you can look at names, but you can also look at your company, your message, your mission, ideally your vision. If it's not meaningful to you, then you maybe want to take a step back and just get back to the basics. And so Lily Joy, so Joy after my mom, Leilani Okouanoi, Yarusi, right? So working, right? So Leo, is still in the infancy stage, me and him both. But in that fact, you look at the name and it's where will they adapt to have that word mean to them, right? So, I was thinking of something the other day, and it was just how you can frame a sentence and it can have dramatically different meanings, right? And that's where social media, text, email, they're a horrible form of communication. Because if I said, "Is this it?" Well, that could mean, if in capacity, right, to life, right, it could be that, man, like I'm failing. There's nothing else here. I give up, and that could leave me in a sunken state. But if I was like, "Is this it?" And it was that point where I'm like, I'm ready to take on everything. Is this all you have for me? Like, I'm ready to do this. Is this it? Where I'm ready to push forward. Same sentence, thought differently of how I put that in there. And it's the same impact of our companies, our brands, our models, our visions, our wording. And why wording is so important is it's the words we're filling in our head today. So quickly, because I'd love to talk to names, but Leilani Okouanoi means.
Oh, so Lily Joy. So Lily, and I'm gonna go because the whole name means so much. So Lily is actually our grandmothers are Violet and Daisy, and since we couldn't pick one, we decided to give her own flower name.
I'm just thinking that I told Hawaiians to go quickly when everything's in laid back time. So and that's part of a good marriage, is to realize that when your kids are moving slow, well, that's half of them, right? The half of them is they're always on Hawaiian time.
Well, the thing is that it's not moving slow; it's moving with a story, because there's a story behind everything. Yeah. So.
With a pace maybe better suited. Yeah.
Leilani Okouanoi. So Leilani is my mom's Hawaiian name that was given to her. Leilani Okaua. Kaua is a derivative of my grandmother's name on my father's side, whose name is Ualani. And Kauanoi is what we came up with to extend it. And it basically means the lay in the mist, the Leilani, the heavenly lay in the mist, which also is also another word for rainbow. So name my youngest, our girl, Rainbow. And then Leo, let me go fast with this.
Sure.
So Leo, why am I blanking on his Hawaiian name?
Conrad.
Leo Conrad. Oh no, I'm blanking on his Hawaiian name. I will come back to that. I'm sorry, Leo, if you watch this 10 years from now. Mommy blanked on your Hawaiian
But there's
name.
the other thought right there, right? So if you aren't out there thinking of your message and thinking of your part, you don't have to be the biggest thing on social media going out there, but it is a way to track your resources, right? So, I don't see a lot of pictures of when I was going on, because there was all physical pictures. So once in a while that comes out, it's really nice. But now it's like creating your own yearbook, other points of life. And we're kind of going on a bunch of different spaces, but it's getting back to that, what's within us and what's said and what's done always has meaning. And it's your start carrying of the meaning and our feeling of the meaning that allows us to really, really benefit the most, right? And it's the little things that can add up to the biggest things, right? And that's our actions, our wording, and everything else. If we're feeding our mind with just small bits of negativity,
And we find that we're ultimately depressed. We're not in a great mood. We have to look at what that activity was. If we're just reading headlines that are just down in the dust, we're watching news about dire despair, death and everything else. If we're surrounding ourselves with people that are always pointing out flaws or complaining, it's these little things that carry over to our mind, right? It's that point of, putting in bad input, getting out bad.
It's called stacking. So I'm part of the Tony Robbins Comeback Challenge, and he reminded me of the thought of stacking. So we have a tendency, because there's so much negativity in the world, to stack negative upon negative upon negative. This negative thing happened. Okay, I'm gonna try and come back from that. Okay, another thing negative, and another thing negative, and another thing. And all of a sudden you feel your body just like kind of droop forward, and you can't get yourself out of negativity because now you have all these stacks of negative, and trying to push through that is so hard. But if you take that story, set it aside, because it's your choice. It's your choice if you're going to focus on that. And you start stacking the negatives, even if they're the small things, like seemingly insignificant things. Stack the good things upon good things. It's a beautiful day. Positive. I went out for my run. Positive. I got to do this amazing podcast. Positive. There's flowers outside. Positive. I have food on my table. Positive. Even those things that we take for granted, treat them as amazing positive gifts. And I promise you, all of a sudden, your body will begin to open. And just by concentrating on those small things, and I actually put out a challenge to those people that were following me in the Tony Robbins Comeback Challenge. I told them, pinpoint and stack those good things, those small things, and acknowledge them. And see, the things news and all these social media things, they exploit the darkness because it's easy to get eyes on that. It just is. So take those good things, even if they're so small, and explore them and make them exponential, because people need that. We need those small good things in our life right now.
Yeah, I agree. And so if we're looking at ourselves and we're saying, I'm not really sure how I'm coming off and how I'm being put out there to the universe, here is something you can do. And it's going to be, for most of you, outside your comfort zone, but it will give you an exact point. Email 5 to 10 people. I say 10 because probably 3 to 5 are going to respond. Just say, hey, listen, I'm just doing a live for really just self-development in myself. Would you give me 3 positives and negatives that come to mind when you think about me? And it really might open up your eyes. We do this as part of our coaching. We have our clients do this just because you get a lot of feedback when you can see how you're coming across, because you may think that you're one way, but there's little things that you're doing that are not putting you in the best light when you could be and you can be, or you're putting something across which is a great message, but maybe exactly it's not the way you're thinking about it, right? Because it's all in the context. It's all in the context of how we're carrying ourselves, how our message is. And if you do want to take those steps forward, I mean, there are simple things that you can do daily just to change really your thought process. There's a Superman stance where you're really just standing strong, right? That's why some of our weakest moments are when we're actually lying down, right? Because we're in a weak position. But if we stand strong, stand chest big, stand the actual basically shoulder width apart stance there, and stand proudly, that gives you energy, right? It's now deep breaths, 6 deep breaths. Allow you to clear your mind. It can be as simple as things of just going outside and looking at the little things. Looking at things that we surpass daily, right? I mean, we were talking at the park the other day with the kids, and they're like, well, what do you think? You think that tree is from 2010? And to them, that was literally the Ice Age, right? But that's like hundreds of years ago, that tree was formed here and put there. And if you look at just the lifespan there, it just shows you how little we are in the whole universe, right? So we want to have an impact, right? Because maybe I was listening on a podcast where somebody were talking about, like, what do you really remember about like the Mayans, right? It like the name, right? But like the impact they had, it's so quick and so gone, is that, we're just a planet, a little rock floating around in space. And when you take into a point, just look at our point, it's that we want to have the most significance in our impact and why we're here for our short time that's here. And it doesn't have to be a broad impact where you're going out there,
solving massive diseases, you can have a large impact just within your community. I was talking to a friend the other day whose grandma passed, and the good news is that, or the awesome thing is that the grandma made such an impact on the kids who are young. I mean, they're like 3, 5, 7, or 5, 7. That the kids still daily speak about her as she's still there, still talk about her as she's still within their life, because the grandma made such an impact just on the processes, just the thought track, just the influence she's had in the children is going to allow her message to carry through, not only hopefully to the kids, but now to their kids 20, 10, 20, 30 years, hopefully more than 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the line.
I mean, really, what we're talking about, those small things that you can make an impact. And talking about impact, it is 15, it's a little bit past 15 in. If you're working out, you are halfway there. If you're running, come back, start running back to your point of origin. If you're working out, you're 15 minutes in.
I want to throw something out there with that, because if for you out there who do what I do and listen to podcasts at 2x, 2 times the speed, then you have to pay attention here, because you're only 7.5 minutes in. So don't push the ante there. But on that fact, and I've gotten really used to listen. I think we're at 1.5 now. So we've met the middle. Sometime at 2, we've met the middle, because at some point it was we had that conflict. But when you go back to listening at 1, it's like, what is going on here?
So slow.
Did they really talk this slow? So if you're listening to us on 1 speed, hopefully being a New Jerseyan and from the East Coast, I speak a little quicker. So 2x may sound like 2.5 to you, but we're doing our best.
We are. And again, so coming back to the small things that you can compound in your life. Let's talk about, 3 or 5 ways that we can bring those good things into our life. And one of our children are crying. So I'm going to let Jason give you 5 things, and I'm going to go check on him.
So 5 ways to bring, lead me with the straight line.
Right now.
5 ways to bring.
5 ways to the small things that you can do that are positive to uplift your life.
Sure.
Small things.
Small things. So 5 things, because here I am, me alone, putting the narrative here, so I can actually change the point. The small things is saying thank you. That's number 1. So 5 things you can do today to really just set up the right attitude moving forward. Saying thank you daily, not only to yourself, right, but also to others around you. Just say the word thank you. Be appreciative of what other people are putting out, those little things that maybe you're not even noticing. Someone offers you a water bottle, someone opens the door, someone asks you if they can help in some way. Just say the word thank you. Gratitude. Yes. So number 2, you want to jump in?
Number 2, gratitude. Pinpoint. And this takes gratitude to another step. Say you're running, say you're walking, and you see a dad, and it's 7:00 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. He's strolling, or a mom strolling along with their kids and getting their run in. You know what? Stop and say, "You are awesome." Or say you're at a restaurant. Once restaurants really give praise, like say the children are crying, the parents are kind of looking like they're tearing their eyes out. They can feel, and if you're parents, you've been in this position before. All of a sudden, your kid throws a tantrum. Whether you have 1 to 5, it is not a nice thing to feel, because all of a sudden you feel eyes on you. You feel like you're being judged. Be that one person that goes up to them and say, "You know what? I see you. You're awesome. You're doing an amazing job." So do those small things for strangers. Reach out and just give a little bit of more kindness. So that was 2.
Number 3, get an early win out of the day, so the rest of your day lines up that no matter what happens, you've won that moment. You can do anything from making your bed, which a lot of you have probably heard the video, to simply getting up and working out, telling yourself you're going to do something and completing that task first off early in the day, so you have a win.
Mindset. Little mindset changes. So my mindset changed in a huge way. And I know I said little mindset changes, but in a huge way, but seemingly small when I put out all the content that we put out. But I read this quote that said, "The world is looking for a solution, for a key. And Hawaii has that key. The key is aloha." So I have been trying to push as much aloha and kindness, and choosing aloha and choosing kindness in the world since I heard that. It's not something that I hadn't seen or heard before, But the thing is, I needed to hear that in that moment. So what are those small mindset changes that you need to make to take you to that next step, to take you to that level 10 life?
And number 5 is going to be a piggyback on that. And so we are on Start Consulting on Facebook, on our Facebook pages, also on YouTube, Instagram, across. So it crosses a number of different ways. It would launch out on a podcast. We're a little bit out, so maybe next week or so. Number 5 is now setting the affirmation in your day, right? And so you can go, even if you ask Alexa, they can give you affirmations to start up. If you're not thinking of what can be beneficial, but talk in the I am mode. So if you are not feeling there yet, set your mind right. She's not sure about that, but I am, because it works. Set the affirmative down, make it happen, put into work.
And if you need an affirmation, I usually put one onto Instagram, onto my business page, and onto my personal page. Look for the affirmation there. And the thing is, don't just tell it to yourself. You have to physicalize it. You have to put it into your body. So one of my latest ones was something to the term of, I am responsible. I am responsible for my kindness. I am responsible for my intent. And I am responsible for my aloha, because I am owning that, because I took responsibility for that. I took control of that. I'm taking control of my mindset. So physicalize it, whether it's a chest pumping, whether you're running, whether you're doing push-ups or sit-ups or jumping jacks. Physicalize it as you're saying it, because you have to put it into your body for it to actually work and actually mean something to your head.
And so here's one. I am control. I am in control of my happiness. And today I choose to be happy.
I choose to be happy.
Love it.
Love it.
All right. Happy Thursday. We will see you to wrap up the weekend. Or wrap up the week, right? So what we learned this week, I think it's going to be probably the greatest show after today, right? And so Peely's dancing, which means we have something. I think she's saying hit subscribe, but maybe she's telling me something else.
Subscribe, rate, and review. If you love what you see, that would do our hearts a huge good.
Go over to YouTube, please. We got a lot of fun things that we aren't showing across platforms. Some of the other pages are going to be launching there. So just a ton of fun things going on with the team. So we do still have our challenge coming out and our special thing. We have not hit you with it yet, because I think we've been doing a lot.
We've been doing things.
Yeah. So things, but it's coming up. It's in the rotation. We will see you tomorrow.